Okay, so people are afraid to be shunned for different reasons. For some people, it's the fear of losing resources. You're going to be kicked out of the house. No financial safety net in place. For some people, that's not the issue. It's the emotional component. I love my parents. I love my family. I don't want to lose them. The people that I love are going to cut me off and shun me. That's scary. All that makes sense. But for some people, they're worried about being shunned because of the gossip. They're worried about the gossip, their reputation. Everybody loved them, looked up to them, or everything was cool for so long, and then all of a sudden, everyone they ever knew, suddenly turns on them. Okay, so let's say you're a people pleaser. This sounds like your arena. You know yourself. This is what you do. Let them talk trash. Let them gossip about you. Okay? Again, I've been through this. Let me explain why this works. Okay? 5 thoughts. You don't want to be there anyway. Remind yourself of this. When you're fighting and struggling to keep everything from falling apart, let it fall apart. Jehovah's Witnesses always reminded me of Black Hole Sun. The Soundgarden video? Keeping it all together so you don't snap. No more fakery. Why chase the approval? If you're being honest with yourself, why chase the approval of people you don't even like? The initial shock of people that of your community supposedly, turning on you and being crappy to you, yeah, it sucks. We can acknowledge that. Yes, it sucks. But when you realize that that's actually what's bothering you, the upheaval itself, it's not like, oh, everything I'm losing, the congregation, the meetings, the routine. I got way more to gain by leaving this and just dealing with this temporary unpleasantness. When you realize that it's the upheaval itself that's actually bothering you, you can start to think rationally. Like, rationally, I don't want to be here anyway. Eventually that will kick in. The logic will kick in. And that will outweigh, with time and space and some breathing room, that will outweigh the initial shock. Drill this into your brain. It's not about you. When they talk trash about you, I can guarantee you it's projection. They got their own internal stuff going on, but it's easier to talk trash about you than to address their own problems. They secretly wish that they could be free. They secretly have doubts. They secretly wish that they could drive their minivan into a lake and end it all.
You don't listen to timeouts. You're not eating your vegetables. You know what? I've had it. You know what? Everybody in the car, we're finna go for a ride down by the lake.
Think about it. You triggered something in them or sparked something in them that upset them. Like, you had the balls to leave. You had the balls to stand up for yourself, whatever, and just say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. You had the nerve and they didn't. In fact, they can't imagine doing that. Just remember, when they throw out the mind games and the guilt trips and the snide remarks, they're in a battle with themselves. I'm not saying you're hoping bad things happen. You're not hoping it, but it's been my experience seeing this in Jehovah's Witness culture. It's been my experience that that's just how it goes. Oh, okay, so the elder who sat on your committee, who was an absolute total dillweed, got disfellowshipped? Why am I not surprised? Oh, Sister so-and-so, she's a pioneer, she's perfect, acts like she walked with Jesus. Oh, she had an affair? Yeah, that tracks. In my experience, the people who are the loudest, the most insufferable, usually have it coming. But also, no, sometimes shitty people just get away with it. There's no justice. They don't learn. Nothing happens. Again, obviously, you're not wishing, I don't know you, but not wishing ill will on people, but if you're obsessed with that outcome, or if you're obsessed with your own vindication, you're going to end up falling into the same trap they are. Because that's what they care about. Looking good. The optics, their image. Hopefully for you, that's not how your life is oriented anymore. You don't care about that BS. You don't operate in their world anymore. Instead of orienting your life around their reactions and how everything is going to unfold and play out, you stop caring. Just focus on your own life. Focus on your life, your freedom, bettering your situation. I mean, it's cliche. You've probably heard of this before, but it's true. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. That's why they hate you. Because you're doing well without them. You're supposed to fall to pieces and be dead within a week. So they don't like the fact that you're not fitting their narrative. Let them talk trash. Why? They're bored. I talked about this in my book, that no, it's not fun. Nobody wants to be gossiped about, feel like they're ostracized specifically by, people that they love, that they thought loved them and cared for them. For the closest people in your life, those closest relationships, to suddenly turn on you or be severed, that's shocking to the system. No, it's not fun. We can acknowledge that, but it's also not sustainable. Yeah, they're going to talk trash about you for a few weeks, months. Oh, did you hear anything? Because that's how they are. But then life goes on. Yes, you're going to be the scapegoat temporarily, but as time passes, the novelty of dragging you and reading you for filth is going to wear off. It's not sustainable. The problems that were always there in your family, congregation, they don't suddenly go away. They're still going to be there, and they still got to deal with that. You're just a temporary target. They still got to go to meetings. They still have to deal with their inner demons and their personal shit. All right, they're just being petty, and they feel like temporarily they have a place to direct it. Real life is going to kick in for these people, and it's not going to carry the same taste or pack the same punch. They have to justify to themselves. They have to rationalize that you're crazy in order for their belief system to work. Because if you're doing well, their whole house of cards comes crashing down. Then what does that mean for me? It opens up a whole can of worms for them. Which brings me to my last point. Sometimes something interesting happens. And I'm not saying this for you to put all your eggs in one basket, but sometimes absence makes the heart grow weary of the bullshit. Sometimes with enough time and distance, the very people who are shunning you now, actively shunning you, will see the light. They start to see what you are warning them about, and they start to wake up, and they remember you, and it's like a, ugh. See, it's reactionary at first. Oh no, you're apostate. Oh no, you're the enemy. Oh no, leaving Jehovah. They're drama queens at first, but again, once that dust settles and life goes on, and specifically, this is an important point, you don't chase them down and beg to be in their life. Like, wait a second, they're not responding to the shunning the way I hoped or the way I expected they would. And I know that the counter argument, somebody out there watching this might be like, the counter argument to that is, well, that's what witnesses say about people who leave. They'll come crawling back and see the error of their ways. And it's true, that does unfortunately happen with a lot of people. They have unfortunately, they have a bad case of prodigal son syndrome. I'm so broken, I'm coming back. No, you're not broken, they're just manipulative. Except in their case, this is what I would say, in their case, they're hoping it'll work. And yeah, a lot of times it does work. They're holding out this expectation. They're taught to. Don't give up hope. Maybe one day your grown kids or your sister or brother, cousin, whoever, they'll come back. Always hold out hope that and pray that they'll come back to Jehovah. You're not doing that. You're not waiting with bated breath. Yeah, you'd like things to be different, but you've moved on with your life. You're not holding out that expectation. The reality is parents, relatives, friends, former friends in the congregation, they do wake up. But it's a big hit to their ego and worldview. They've been raised in this. Maybe they're boomers or older. You know, they've been raised in this from birth. My point being, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to listen to you at first when you first leave. That's why they're going to freak out and be like, oh, you're terrible. Okay, of course they're going to react at first. And no, they may never reach out to you because that sunk cost is too high. I'm sorry, I know this is not like a positive, like happy note to end this on. It's not all wrapped up with a pretty bow. Probably not the most comforting thing to hear. But if anything, if I would ask you to glean anything from this last point or from this video, it's just, I would say, dare to create your own closure. And it's a radical idea, but dare to be okay with yourself. Practice radical acceptance. It is what it is. You don't like it, you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to be okay with it, but it is what it is. It's not about you. Focus on your own life. Stop lending so much of your energy, your precious energy, to their opinions and what they think about you. That stuff only works in witness world. In the real world, it doesn't matter. That's another thing I hope you understand and take away from this. The stuff that works in witness world, the gossip and everybody's concerned about their image. And you're probably, there's vestiges of that maybe with you. That's why you're afraid of the impending shunning. The gossip and the reputation, the image, let it all burn down. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like more information about the Jehovah's Witnesses from a former member of 30 years, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.